Hello. Inauguration file name. Sir, file name inauguration. என்ன சார்? நாமளும் Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir. You're audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You are also very much audible, sir. Yeah.
Good
thank
morning.
You. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Pleasant morning to one and all gathered here in this cyberspace. We are happy to begin the proceedings of Interdepartmental Satellite Symposium on Interdisciplinary Studies in Biosciences. I would like to invite Mr. Mubarak Ali from Department of Chemistry to recite few verses from Holy Quran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin.
May I now invite Dr. M. Ghaus Pasha, Head of the Department of Botany and Dean of Science, Jamal Mohamed College, to deliver welcome address.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Good morning. I deemed it great pleasure to welcome our revered Secretary and Correspondent Sir, esteemed Treasurer Sir, lovable Assistant Secretary, and respected Principal, Vice Principal, Additional Vice Principal, Honorary Directors, and Management Committee, colleagues, faculty members, dear students. I welcome one and all for this two-day interdepartmental symposium on interdisciplinary biological sciences, especially for the undergraduate students in the aegis of DBT Star College scheme. At this juncture, I am glad to welcome our respected Professor Felix, Professor and Head, Department of Botany, School of Biological Sciences, Central University of Punjab. Professor Felix sir is not a stranger. He already accepted many of our invitations in our institutions and delivered many lectures in our college. So at this juncture, on behalf of the management committee, principal, I wholeheartedly welcome Professor Felix for this symposium. I welcome you, sir. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. K.R.L. Saranya, Research Associate, NRSC, Indian Space Research Organization, Hyderabad. I welcome ma'am. I am also happy to welcome Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Majumdar, Manager, Intellectual Property Rights and Incubation Center, NRDC, Delhi. So on this occasion, on behalf of our institution, I welcome you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now it is time to listen to an ardent mathematician. I have heard from my Elmer that biology is a beautiful poem written in the language of mathematics. May I now request Dr. S. Ismail Mohideen, Principal of Jamal Mohamed College, to offer his presidential address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Most respected today's chief guest, Dr. Felix, Head of the Department of Botany, Central University of Punjab. Respected Madam Saranya, Research Associate, National Remote Sensing Center, ISRO Hyderabad. Respected Dr. Sanjeeva Kumar Majumdar, Manager in Startup Activities and Intellectual Property Division of National Research Development Corporation, New Delhi. And most respected Head of the Department of Botany, Dr. M. Gauss Basha, Dr. Aslam, and Dr. Bala Kumar, and Professor Jahangir, Professor Sajahan, and Professor Kamarajar, and all my young Jamalians, joining with Dr. Gauss Basha, Head of the Department of Botany. I wholeheartedly welcome everyone present here from the Department of Botany, from the Department of Mathematics, from Physics, from Chemistry, and from Zoology Department. All these departments are under DBT Star College scheme. So let me welcome all the students and the staff in charges of these departments and everyone present here. By the grace of the Almighty, I appreciate the Department of Botany under the DBT Star College scheme is organizing 2-day interdepartmental satellite symposium on interdisciplinary studies in biosciences today and tomorrow in a blended mode. Really, Jamal is pleasant soil, because as for Felix, I am telling all these things because it is by the two philanthropies on those days during the year 1951 itself. Our two founders, Haji Jamal Muhammad Sahab and Kajamian Rautar, both involved in freedom struggle also. So such a generous gentleman started this college during the year 1951 itself. So after 72 years, now the total strength of student strength, both men and women of our college, is around 11,000 in a single campus. Almost all the departments, all the programs, UG, PG, PhD, in all the 25 programs is available in Jamal Muhammad College. Around 4,500 girls are also studying, and I am very happy that the department, the UGC, have granted a college with potential for excellence twice, and the NAC accredited our college 3 times in a A grade, and similarly DST also awarded first grant. Similarly, I am very glad that the DBT, it is very difficult to get funds from DBT. This is the 3rd year we are continuing with the fundings of DBT. So the Department of Botany, and I am very glad that the topic, the title, interdisciplinary. We all know the every discipline or every department, every science department should collaborate each other. Then only we can find something useful to the society. That too, we all know. As a mathematics professor, I am very glad that Professor Felix is delivering a lecture on mathematical biology. I am also very interested to hear you, sir, because without mathematics, I think in my own style, without mathematics, we cannot even communicate, because it is a beautiful language. Mathematics is a beautiful language. But even to study the structure of a tree or the structure of the world or anything, we can study or we can understand using Fibonacci series, using golden ratio. So all these things tells that there is a interlink between all the science subjects. So it is a high time that the Department of Botany is arranging such a wonderful symposium involving all the departments, especially all the DBT sponsored department. Those students are available here. So I request the young Jamalians, the young students of botany, zoology, mathematics, physics, and chemistry to please interact with the persons, because Professor Felix is spending 1 hour here with us. It is a most important time for you because he spent his time for you. He allotted 1 hour for our Jamalian students. So our Jamalian student and staff members should that is utilize the time and do a lot of research. Because of DBT, I am very glad and I am very proud that many of our young Jamalians, young students, that to under the undergraduate students, they had a lot of exposure because of this scheme, DBT scheme. So in this happiest occasion, I thank all the authorities of Department of Biotechnology for providing the scheme, the Star College scheme. And I thank Professor Felix, and I don't want to take much of your time. So a lot of time should be spent for the scientists, and I am also eager to hear you all. So I wish the department and the program a grand success. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging inaugural address.
Thank you.
Now it is time to listen to our guest speaker, Professor Felix Bast. He is a full professor at Central University of Punjab, India, where he is heading Department of Botany. He is an expert panelist of Paris-based International Science Council, an elected fellow of Linnean Society of London, and a member of IUCN Geneva. He is BSc gold medalist and he holds PhD in marine biology from MEXT, Japan. He is an alumnus of MEXT. It's a very proud thing. Japanese government international doctoral fellowship also was endowed to him. And he has served as expedition scientist in Indian Antarctic mission. Professor Bast discovered 7 new marine algae and moss species from India and Antarctica. He is an alumnus from IIT Bombay, University of Washington, US, Marine Biological Association of UK, Plymouth, UK, and Leibniz Institute of Tropical Marine Research, Brum, Germany. And Professor Bast has served as an residence intern with the President of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi, and received President's Inspired Teacher Recognition in the year 2015. And he also won the Teaching Innovator Award from Ministry of Education, Government of India in the year 2019 for research and dissemination of scientific knowledge. He has been visited 25 countries. He popularizes science through several media, including YouTube, school outreach talks, magazine articles, blogs, and books. Professor Bast is also involved with Swayam, a flagship online education program of Ministry of Education, Government of India. And Professor Bast has founded Young Academy of India, an academy for young researchers in the country, which is member of International Science Council. He has published more than 65 research articles in Scopus enlisted journals and guided 7 PhDs, 3 postdoctorals, and 1 international exchange scientist. His books include Life Skills, Voyage to Antarctica, Trees of Ramayana, Arctic Circle, and Textbook of Biostatistics and Mathematical Biology. Professor Bast advocates a sustainable lifestyle, a primary focus of his works. He is an avid cyclist who often commutes to his workplace on cycle. So we have an environment sensitive professor, cautious professor here. Professor Bast also as a runner, a frequent blood donor, and an advocate of zero waste and low carbon footprint life cycle. Professor Bast has also signed up posthumous organ and whole body donation for medical research through NOTTO to the Government of India. We are really happy to have you here, sir. Now the mic is all yours. You can unmute and share your slides. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. It's a big honor for me to be invited again to this great college of Jamal, Mohamed in Trichy. It's not the first time. As a principal said, I've been here many times, though it's all virtual. I'm looking forward to interact with the students and faculty in physical mode, in-person mode in one of these coming days. So it's my privilege to be part of this program. And good morning, all of you Jamalians, right? It's one of the best college in Trichy as well as in Tamil Nadu, right? And all India as well, with so many recognitions as I can hear from the introductory remarks by the principal. And as I can see that this is a 2 days international interdisciplinary satellite symposium on interdisciplinary, interdepartmental satellite symposium on interdisciplinary studies in biological sciences. So first of all, thanks a lot, Dr. Ismail Mohamed, the principal, for the kind words and introducing me to about this college, as well as Dr. Basha for sending me the invitation letter, Dr. Balakrishnan Balaguru for inviting me here, and also Dr. Prasanna, who invited me earlier. I'm sure Prasanna is among the audience today listening to this talk, and Dr. Aslam for moderating this session. So it's first time I heard like the college is really massive with 11,000 students. I'm really happy to know that massive contribution that this college is doing to the the people of Trichy and Tamil Nadu. And also I'm really glad to know the 4,500 students are girls, approximately. So it's amazing. The female education is extremely important in this country. And I'm really happy that it's a major social responsibility that this college is performing in Tamil Nadu. And I also heard about Jamal Mohamed, of course, before the principal's remark. Also, I'm aware of his contribution to the Indian freedom struggle, and I can very well relate to the Islamist importance in Indian freedom struggle too, because I'm coming from Kerala. And north part of Kerala, the Malabar region, do have a significant Muslim population. And some of you might have heard of Mappila Lahala, which is one of the major part of the Indian freedom struggle in South India. So the freedom struggle is very much part of all communities in India, of course. And coming to this particular symposium is about the interdisciplinarity. So it is I'm a big time advocate of the interdisciplinary research. It's extremely important. And one of my favorite quote is by D.R.C. Thompson, Scottish morphologist, a great writer as well, D'Arcy Thompson. Morphology is, by the way, looking at the fossils and the, and also like the cranial dimensions or the various anatomical dimensions, and then classifying the organisms as well as finding the evolutionary legacy. So that field is called morphology. So the D'Arcy Thompson famously said, "Let me tell you that the fertile field of discovery lies for the most part on those borderlands where one science meets the other." So that is where the discovery lies. It's not just, you can imagine like Venn diagram, right? A pie, one big circle. Let us say that circle belongs to mathematics. Another circle belongs to biology. So if mathematicians are not talking to biologists and vice versa, not much of the discoveries are happening. You really need a crosstalk between various disciplines. A good example or good analogy is that when you imagine you go into a hospital for ultrasonography, for instance, pregnant ladies go there to get the fetus scan, right? That is ultrasonography. So have you ever imagined how did this ultrasonogram emerged? So it's basically a biomimetic. Biomimetic or biomimicry is basically you're imitating how the nature works. For instance, the bats. How do the bats navigate? Through sound, isn't it? So, echolocation, isn't it? So the same principle is used in physics for this ultrasonography. So that is basically an exchange between ecologists, biology, of course, and medicine and physics. Remarkable. It's the same thing for MRI. Magnetic resonance is the principle of the atomic physics. So it's a physical instrument used for decades in physics labs in the world. And only recently it entered into the biomedical field, and it has completely transformed the medical imaging. So MRI machine is not actually designed with a goal in the mind that it will be of useful in medicine. But that crosstalk is extremely important. I myself have taken a project. I had a very interesting idea about Indian languages like Tamil or Malayalam, which is quite related, Dravidian languages, and Hindi, Gujarati or Punjabi, which is part of the Indo-Aryan family or Indo-European, the language family. So how do these languages evolve? 21 of the Indian official languages, how are they related? So basically, I am a taxonomist. I work in algae as well as the extremophiles, the extreme plant species. How do they, I use a lot of statistics and computer to retrace the evolution. How did it evolve? So the same method, I can also use it to group how the languages evolve. The Bayesian statistics as well as computational phylogenetics. So I proposed this idea to Indian Council of Social Science Research after, a few years after I joined this university. And I didn't even imagine that ICSSR will support this proposal because I have no background in linguistics. I'm a biologist, right? I never even learned the formal linguistics. Of course, I did learn after getting that grants, and to my surprise, ICSSR funded it. It's a major grant. Of course, the amount is not that much. It's only 7 lakh, but 7 lakh is a major fund for humanities. Remember, this is a humanity project, So yes, so it's all ideas, friends. Ideas matter immensely. If you have ideas from other discipline, why not? There's no harm in actually taking it. As principal, the introducer said that introduced about me. I was privileged to be part of the Indian Antarctic mission. Again, that mission is to the core interdisciplinary in nature. So all kinds of fields go there and we exchange the idea. Physics work on the upper atmospheric, phenomenon. For instance, the Southern Lights, Aurora Australis, and also about the geomagnetism, or geologists do work on, the meteorites, right? And so many things are happening, right? The chemists do work on the baseline pollution, because it is the least polluted place on our Mother Earth is Antarctica, right? And we do talk with each other. The zoologists, for instance, they can work on the penguin behavior, for instance, how do a penguin behave with the climate change, and the behavior of the squaw, right? Or snow petrels. So many animals in Antarctica, though it is highly limited. And biologists like us, we work on documenting the diversity of plants and microbes, and algae, and how do this have something to do with the climate change. So everything is interdisciplinary in nature. And you might be knowing about the key document that Union government has recently drafted, and many states have implemented it. It is called NEP 2020, that is National Education Policy 2020. And one of the hallmark of NEP 2020 is the interdisciplinarity. Now, a student in BSc, for instance, can learn, for instance, a student pursuing biochemistry or botany or zoology, the biological sciences for BSc, can take few courses on economics or psychology or Indian history. Guess what? You can take any course that it's appealed to you, and it's part of the credits. And even you can take the course online if you are really talented with some dance, for instance, and you would like to take some Indian classical dance. So why not enroll yourself through Swayam? I also have Swayam course running in the Swayam. It is about the mathematical biology, which is open for enrollment, right? So any of you would like to take my course, you may please search out my name, Felix Bast and Swayam, and you can click on that course, and it's a completely free course, right? It's a 12 weeks program. You can earn 3 credits. It's at PG level, though the UG level students can also enroll for that course. So that interdisciplinarity is being fostered by NEP 2020. I feel that is really, really a need of the hour, and it perfectly complements the theme of this talk. You can find thousands of examples of this interdisciplinarity. For instance, special theory of relativity by Albert Einstein. So when he made that special theory of relativity as he, when he was working as a patent officer in Austria. It's a clerical job, but then he was quite curious about the physics. He didn't even thought that it will have a huge application in an entirely, different field, transforming each one of our life. How many of you have used Google Maps to navigate? I'm sure almost every one of the audience have used at one point of your time to navigate, to go to unknown places, right? Using Google Maps. So Google Maps work only because of the Albert Einstein's special theory of relativity. You know that? So this interdisciplinarity is extremely important, right? And at this juncture, I declare that this interdepartmental satellite symposium on interdisciplinary studies in biological sciences has inaugurated. My best wishes for this symposium for the next 2 days. And I can see that a lot of eminent speakers are there coming from Delhi and Hyderabad and various parts and various organizations. So I hope it will be really useful for all the students as well as the faculties to get some new information. And as the principal was saying that my talk will be on mathematical biology, unfortunately there is some missed communication or miscommunication. It is not really on mathematical biology. Though, of course, I do talk on mathematical biology as well. The last talk in this college was on mathematical biology. For instance, about the Fibonacci series that the principal said. For instance, if you look at the sunflower, and it is highly mathematical. Yes, it's a poem, right? The biology is a poem of the mathematics, which I really like that quote. And also fractals. For instance, if you look at the cauliflower, big cauliflower in the small cauliflower, which actually keep on repeating the fractals, is a mathematical concept, right? So today's talk is about, quite a related topic, but I think it's a very fundamental topic. Let me share my screen, okay? So it is about data sciences, okay? So it is about the cardinal mantras of data science. Let me just share my screen first. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Please go
Good.
ahead.
So the data science and statistics or biostatistics are all quite related field, okay? Mathematical biology too. And there are tremendous importance of data science these days. So whatever field that you work on, like for instance, botany or zoology or biochemistry or physics or chemistry, biology, whatever be, you can find a job in data science. Right? The big data is everything. Nowadays, everything is controlled by big data. AI can even draft a complete thesis, the PhD thesis, without a plagiarism. Are you aware of that? ChatGPT, a free tool by by Microsoft, which is just came in existence in last 1 or 2 months, right? So so what exactly is this data science? What is the crux of it? That is what today's talk is all about. One of the major aphorism in data science as well as statistics is something called ECRI by Carl Sagan, astronomer, an American astronomer, as well as he is a science communicator. He said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidences or proofs. Very fundamental to data science, or throughout whatever be the evidence-based science or medicine is. For instance, if you're claiming that this plant extract can kill cancer, so it's your responsibility to substantiate such claims with extraordinary evidence. You cannot escape it, saying that, okay, if somebody is doubting that, does that drug works? You cannot say that, okay, go prove it. No. There is a concept in philosophy called philosophical burden of proof. So the burden of proof comes under the onus of the person who is posing such claims. For instance, if I say that there is a demon or there is a ghost in my garage, so you can always ask me, okay, prove it that there is a real ghost there. I cannot say, okay, go and prove it. That I hope it's clear to you. So if you're doing any kind of extraordinary claim, It's your responsibility to substantiate with extraordinary evidence. The next very important mantra, or the aphorism of data science is that what can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. If I'm saying that if this drug works against cancer, but I do provide no evidence, then you can also dismiss it without any evidence. It doesn't really merit any attention. I hope it's clear. It's by Christopher Hitchens, one of the famous philosopher and rhetoric. It's a great author. Please read the books of Christopher Hitchens. Completely transforms your worldview. Okay, so this is a very, very important aphorism. Another aphorism which I really like is something called Hanlon's phrase. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. Right? So if people are simply making silly mistakes, you cannot simply label it as malice or criminal. No, most of the things happening in the world is just mere mistakes. Right? Even in the data science or in the mathematical biology, mistakes have to be labeled as mistakes. It's not the criminal mentality. Goethe, the famous German poet, said, "Why look for conspiracy when stupidity can explain much?" I hope it's clear, right? It's a poem. And another extremely important aphorism is that absence of evidence is not same as evidence of absence. It's, this razor is applicable across the discipline, interdisciplinary. If you don't have any evidence that the drug works, that is not same as there is an evidence for the absence, it doesn't work. No, these two things looks quite similar, but it's very different. This is also applicable in judiciary, So if the lawyer or the court has no evidence to discriminate or incriminate the person who, the convict, right? The criminal convict, it's not same as the evidence of absence that the court can never say that the person is innocent. So the court can only say the person is guilty or not guilty. So not guilty is not same as innocent. I hope there is a fine line of difference is clear to you. And if it's still not clear, please look up, right? There are a lot of resources available in internet. You can find it out, right? So why this is not same. And Mark Twain, the famous American writer, famously said, "It's easy to fool someone, but it's hard to convince them that they have been fooled." Why it's hard to convince that you have been fooled? Because we have so many things that we take it for granted. We believe it. And we cannot change our belief, even if you provide suitable evidence. Because even in the school, we learn so many myths, friends. And this myth, it's hardwired to our mind that none of us can change this myth, even if you provide some evidence. A simple example I can give you. If I ask you, there is only one man-made structure visible from moon. If you happen to travel to the moon, if you look at the Earth, planet Earth, right? Blue planet Earth. Yeah? There is only one structure, man-made structure visible from the moon. Which is that structure? I'm sure every one of you knows the answer because it oftentimes asked in quiz competitions, right? Another version say, only man-made structure visible from space. What is that? Yes, Great Wall of China, isn't it? I'm sure everyone knows the answer. What if I say that it's a myth? Friends, it was just, relayed by an American cartoon series called Ripley's in 1920s. Yeah, the TV existed in 1920s in America, just as a joke. But then it was an American series, right? The entire world thought, oh, wow, Americans are saying, then it might be true. Friends, in moon, forget moon, even from the space, not a single man-made structure is visible. And provided very powerful telescope, everything is visible. Even your car number is visible from space. I hope it's clear. Have you seen your own house from the space? If you haven't, please check out the Google has this satellite view in the Google map. You can just zoom on to your house. You can see that your own house from the satellite, from the space. It's possible if you have, powerful telescope. Otherwise, nothing is visible. So there are a lot of myths we really need to unlearn, right? So that is extremely important. Open for new ideas and always challenge your belief, challenge your core ideas, challenge your worldview. That is extremely important in statistics. Correlation is very, very powerful. For instance, how do the science know that the smokers develop lung cancer? It's because of a very long study. It's called longitudinal study in a village called Framingham in Boston area in the US, northern US. So they actually continued for 20 and 30. It is still ongoing. Okay, you can still check out the Framingham, that website, to see how do they actually do that. It takes lots of effort. It takes lots of money. Today we take it for granted. Wow, smoking definitely causes lung cancer. Why? Because we know it. It takes time and efforts and money from the science friends, and science need investment. Science is real money, for all these things. And how do we know that the smokers, smoking leads to lung cancer? Because the smokers develop lung cancer later in their life. There is a very high chance, there is a high probability, or many things, if you know this analogy, this correlation, the smokers develop lung cancer, that itself is sufficient. How exactly smoking causes lung cancer? Like molecular mechanism, you don't really need to know it to give an advice that don't smoke. Are you getting the point, right? It's like correlation. Correlation is extremely powerful. For instance, the airport, right? The airport have sniffer dog, right? And sniffer dogs are also used by police to catch the bombs, right? Why it works? Because the dogs can catch it. Do the science know how exactly the dog can detect this bomb or marijuana or cocaine in the airport? No, we still don't know. Right? It doesn't matter. We really don't need to know it to make use of this dog, because there is a correlation revealed by statistics, and also the correlation is everywhere in big data these days, the AI. For instance, if you happen to look for instance, a shoe in the Google, and next day onwards, shoe advertisement will be flooded into your mobile phone. Haven't you seen that, right? It's all about the correlation, right? So so big data or data science rely on correlation, because that is that is basically the skeleton of artificial intelligence, right? And scientists still don't know how many of these modern, for instance, the vaccine, very famous vaccine called MMR, measles, mumps, measles, and rubella. And if you ask a scientist, how does the measles vaccine work? We still don't know. All we know is that it works extraordinarily well. So scientists have got extraordinary evidence to substantiate that the measles vaccine work extraordinarily well. That is sufficient, So, and digoxin, for example, which is a very common drug for cardiac patients, which is a plant-derived substance. We still don't know how it works, So many of the drugs we don't know, but it has been integrated into the modern medicine. And many people think, okay, modern medicine is all synthetic. No, it is not. Almost 90% of modern medicine, you can trace back the roots into the plants. So most of the drugs are plant-based, including digoxin, including the acetyl salicylic acid from willow bark, the aspirin. So most of the drugs coming from plants. It is not a synthetic thing. Okay, so lots of misconception is there. Taxol too, the famous anti-cancer drug, again comes from plants, the trees. So they do have high quality evidence. So, but beware of confounding. Confounding is another very important problem with data science as well as the mathematical biology. In critical thinking, it's called illusory correlation. What is that? Illusory correlation or statistical founding. confounding. There is a very famous study in 1995, which they found a very strong correlation between breast cancer in super rich countries. So the very high prevalence of breast cancer in G7 countries. G7 are the world's topmost rich and developed and high GDP country. These countries, for instance, Japan or Canada or US, Germany, UK, France, and Italy, those countries are really on top. Now, what is happening in those countries? Why there is a high breast cancer? If I ask you randomly, you might say, okay, maybe they are sedentary lifestyle. They are rich people. They use always car. They don't walk, right? And they are always in front of the computer. They sit and they lead a sedentary lifestyle. Yes, such things, such story, the imaginary narratives were very common in the media just after this publication. Or is it because of other lifestyle attribute like fast food culture? The junk food. The rich people are eating junk food while poor people don't eat junk food. Again, that is misconception, right? Actually, the reason for this apparent correlation is something entirely different. In Japan, where I lived for 5 years, I did my PhD in Japan, very rich country. And in that country, friends, school students after menarche, the first menses, the girl student have to undergo annual mammogram, the breast screening. It is free and it's compulsory. And the rich countries do this testing quite often. More testing means more cases will come, right? Early detection is very key for breast cancer. Cancer prevalence is very high in G7 countries, but at the same time, death from this cancer is also extremely low in those countries. So prevalence doesn't mean the death. So actually, the reason for this confounding is they test a lot. So just by looking, two things are correlated, we have this inherent tendency to conclude that one is causing effect on the other. No, correlation doesn't mean causation. That is a fundamental rule of data science, fundamental rule of statistics too. Here is another example. A 98 study from the US found a strong association between ice cream sales and high incidence of drowning. Drowning means the death by water, like water sports, swimming in the ocean, swimming in the, in the river. Whenever there is a high ice cream sale, there is a high mortality through drowning cases. What is happening here? Is eating ice cream causes you to die? Think of it. I'm sure some of the audience know what is happening in this case too. The reason is that ice cream sales are highly seasonal. At this point of time, it's pretty winter here in Bhatinda. Right now, when I'm talking to you, it is only 4 degrees Celsius. It's very, very cold days. And usually, people don't eat ice cream in winter. People eat ice cream when it's hot and sunny outside, right? And people go for swimming again the same time, summer months. So the real reason for this apparent correlation is seasonality. It's not that ice cream causes drowning. I hope it's clear. Here is another example. I'm giving you this different examples because confounding, friends, is extremely common. It is the most common mistake that data scientists do these days. There is a new paper last year, 2022, that the paper say video gaming in the teens is correlated with high depression rates. Teenage people, I'm sure in your home, you must be having siblings, the teenage sibling. Well, none of you are teenagers, right? You have closed that point in your life. So the teenagers, video gamers, so whoever plays a lot of video games among teenage boys and girls, the chances are high that they develop depression. So the knee-jerk reaction we have is to automatically conclude that video gaming causes depression, isn't it? Have you thought there is another way to look at the same situation? Confounding, be aware of confounding. So if there is just one message, if you want to take from today's talk, is about illusory correlation of this problem of statistical confounding. So whenever you see this kind of correlation, don't automatically conclude there is a causation, right? It's not that video gaming is causing this depression. It could be vice versa too. Have you thought of that? Depressed teenagers are more prone to video game. If some teenagers are already depressed, they are more prone to, start video gaming and develop a video gaming addiction. Yes, that is a very valid conclusion as well. So you cannot rule out that possibility. And to rule out that, you really need a randomized controlled trial, which is a little bit complicated topic. I don't really have any time to go through that. So it's extremely important to be aware that whenever you see there is some correlation, don't automatically conclude that one is causing the effect on another. Okay, so that's extremely important, and be aware of this one. And also, the thousands of examples. For instance, there are 4-fold fatal accidents by motorcyclists in India comparing with the cars. Therefore, motorcycles are not safe. No, don't automatically conclude that. There are so many other possibilities. One possibility here is that motorcycles are also almost 8 times plying on Indian road comparing with the cars, right? So, but the accidents are only 4-fold. That means the motorcycles are, almost double safe than car. There is another way to approach the same problem, So confounding is an extraneous variable in statistics that correlates directly or inversely with both dependent and independent variable. That is extremely important, So as the first example, the developed countries, breast cancer, there is another variable here is a compulsory and free mammogram screening. That is what you have to be thought of. Whenever you see the correlation, don't automatically conclude it is causation, right? So correlation neither imply nor prove the causation. That is extremely important. For instance, happiness and income, there is a correlation. Don't automatically conclude that income is causing the happiness. It can be vice versa too. Happy people tend to pursue their talents better, and they tend to score better in their schools and colleges, and they tend to improve their chances of landing up in high-paying job, isn't it? So that is another way to look at that. So it's like out-of-box thinking, extremely important for creativity. Okay. Another example is salad consumption and longevity. People who consume a lot of salad tend to live longer. So here in this case, it's not the salad leading to the longevity. People who eat salad also comes with lots of healthy aspects. They also tend to be non-drinkers, and they also tend to exercise more rigorously than people who don't eat salad. So everything comes in one pack, right? So that is also extremely important. Like video gaming, social media addiction, and depression. Again, the same thing. Depressed people can be more prone for social media addiction. Okay. And another extremely important, aphorism in statistics is something called Occam's razor. So, unnecessary complications are to be avoided. That is a simple thing about the Occam's razor. Why to go for unnecessary complication or complicated solutions or explanations for simple and elegant solution if it exists. Simple example I can give you that the step up machine. How many of you went to a very good gym in Trichy, I'm sure there are a lot of super high quality gym, right? Inherently, I don't like gym, right? I'm more into the home gym kind of person. And also, instead of this, in the air conditioned gym and treadmill, running on the treadmill never fascinates me. I like to run in the wilderness, in the nature with the sunlight and some greenery, fresh air. Is so much better. When you go to the gym, you might see the step up machine. The step up machine or step counter machine is something like, staircase. So the machine keep on rotating and you're simply, rotating backside like the treadmill, and you keep on going up the stair, right? Just like the treadmill. Such a complicated solution, friends. Many of my colleagues I know here in this university, professors, they don't use the stairs at all. I'm talking to you from 4th floor of a tall building here. So instead of taking stairs, they take lift, and then what happens is that after going home in the night, in the evening around 5 o'clock, they drive their big 4-wheel drive. By the way, I'm the only faculty teacher. No, I won't want to say professor, even if you include assistant, associate, the only faculty with no car. I don't have a car. I'm more into cycling. So my point here is that these faculty, when they go home, what they do? They go to the gym and they use this step up machine in an air conditioned gym. Oh, friends, what a complicated solution. Such a simple, elegant solution exists. Just use the stairs. So that philosophical approach is known as Occam's razor. All things being equal, simplest solution tends to be the most rigorous one. It's very common across the fields, interdisciplinary. For instance, if you are into computational phylogeny, there are so many mathematical models to choose from, something called models of phylogenetic reconstruction. So novice learners think, okay, really complicated, simple model, if it can explain the data much more elegantly than complicated model, why to go for complicated models for your phylogenetic reconstruction? So avoid these complications in your life. That is, this mental model. This is like a mental model. The razor is applicable across the discipline, whatever discipline be. So that is called, that is by the William of Ockham. It's a 16th century British philosopher came out with this solution. This is called Occam's razor concept of philosophy. Another simple example is about the razor, like shaving razor. For, hundreds of years, our own forefathers used, just straight cut razor with just one blade, right? And now if you look, one blade razors are like out of fashion. If you look in the Amazon, you will see like 3 blade, 4 blade. And price keep on increasing, 6 blade, 8 blade, and even 12 blade, one razor with 12 blades. Can you imagine? That is Amazon India. And if you look at the Amazon Germany, you can even see 18 blade in one razor. What is the point, friends? If just one blade can give you a close enough shave to find, to become attractive, then there is no point of going for unnecessary complexities, right? So this is a very good mental model. Another extremely important principle is GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So what is that GIGO? So whatever you're putting, if the quality of the data itself is not good, you cannot trust the complicated analysis. It's also quite related to the Occam's razor concept. So don't think that complicated, computational analysis can negate the problems with the data. So if the data is not good, if the readings are not good, or if your DNA sequencing is not good, or your, your notebook, whatever diligent practices that you did in your lab is not really that meticulous. So the data is itself is substandard. Don't think that, really tricky, the statistics, something like, for instance, non-linear regression or, principal component analysis can actually get some useful data out of this garbage. No, it's not possible. So the data is extremely important. Fancy statistical test cannot compensate the quality of the data, and don't merely look at the summary. You need to look at the raw data to make meaningful inferences. So most of us make this mistake that we just look at the bar diagram of, the research papers when you read. No, look at the data itself. Sometimes the correlation is, whatever the model which we used is incorrect model which we used. That's really, really important. Okay. So I would like to stop here because of the paucity of time. I would just like to go to the final slide here. Just a minute, right? Yeah. So the final slide here is that, that I do have a YouTube channel, which is, you can simply look at my name, Felix Bast. And I also do have a science program in my channel called Curiosity. My channel has a lot of subscribers, 13,000 plus, 14,000 counting. But the channel is completely non-monetary. There is no ads running in my channel, okay? I can enable the ads, but I haven't enabled the ads, because I don't like ads. Unfortunately, it's not a good economic decision. Yeah, but this channel is completely free. Please check out. Okay, you can search, or you can just put this into your browser, or you can note down into your notebook right now. Please take a pen and paper, write it down. bit.ly/bastf. BASTF. Okay, it's bit.ly/BASTF. So this program is about curiosity driven sciences, and most of the stories which I cover in my channel is about interdisciplinary topics where one field meets the other, especially humanities and sciences. So it's also quite relevant to this symposium. Please check out this channel and do subscribe to it. Thank you so much for having me here today, and I'm really humbled to be part of this program, and thank you. Okay, any questions you have?
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring inaugural address. And can I have a few suggestions for our undergraduate students to begin their projects related to mathematics applications in biology? Some few small suggestions, or you can suggest students about some projects that you have already undertaken for undergraduate level, so that
Okay.
all the students can take up their projects.
Okay. So, one thing which you can actually make use of or leverage is that we have lots of data available. Okay. For instance, how did the vaccine develop for the SARS-CoV-2, the COVID-19 pandemic? So in the, that story is very inspiring. So let me elaborate on that. So it's approximately around, November, December 2019, the China, they actually sequenced the genome of this SARS-CoV-2 virus, the causative agent of COVID-19. And, so they haven't made it like a patent and we will not reveal to the world. No, that's very bad practice. But fortunately, Chinese didn't do that. What Chinese did is that they simply deposited this entire genome sequence of SARS-CoV-2 into NCBI, that is publicly available database. It's an American database. NCBI is basically based in the US, GenBank, right? They deposited the entire sequence of GenBank. Of course, GenBank also have human genome database, right? Ensemble, you can browse it. And within next 2 weeks, can you imagine, 2 weeks, people from the US developed the prototype of the the Moderna vaccine, that is the mRNA vaccine against SARS-CoV-2. So within 2 weeks, the vaccine is ready and unchanged till, even today, the vaccine is quite same as the first vaccine which they developed that early on. So what really happened is that why it took much longer time for getting that vaccine in the market is that there are so many rigorous testing, RCT, which I told, randomized control trial. The scientists really have to prove that the vaccine works and vaccine is safe for applying onto the human subjects. So there are a lot of trial, phase 1 trial, phase 2 trial, phase 3 trial. That takes time, right? So how did that vaccine develop by the Moderna people in the US? Moderna is, by the way, it's an American company. Just by looking at the sequence of China, the Chinese actually put that sequence into the GenBank database. Well, I also have several friends, for instance, a good friend of me is in the college where I studied for my bachelor's in Kerala, right? So, in the college doesn't have much facility. In North Kerala, where, my friend is based at my own college. It's called St. Pius X College in Rajapuram. Don't have much facility. But that friend of mine, what he is doing is, he's simply looking at the GenBank as well as the human genome database, as well as a chem database. It's all about the molecules. And he's analyzing those data to write the papers. And he's publishing standard papers in good, high impact journals, including the scientific report of the Nature. He could able to get several papers in it. So it doesn't cost you much money, friends. It needs the right idea, right? You can actually do some docking study. For instance, the already identified molecules available in the chem bank, for instance, NCBI chem draw. That is also another database of the drawings of the chemicals, and you can use free molecular docking tools to find any significant docking in the sense like a key and a lock. There are so many available chemicals available. For instance, catechins, which is extracted from the tea, green tea, has got this catechins, or epigalactin. So all these are chemicals that is already available in the database. And now you have several targets. For instance, cancer causing genes, that is a potential target, so some proteins which is expressed during the cancer. So if you know some chemical, which chemical of this can actually bind with this protein so that it can inactivate, you can do this work with just your laptop. It doesn't even need a good quality laptop. Any kind of laptop can do this work. And if you are really clueless on how to perform this kind of study, there are hundreds of free YouTube videos. I also have this YouTube channel with several of such videos. I also learned many things from YouTube. So YouTube is, again, it's a great teacher. Of course, it depends on who is teaching, right? And what kind of videos that you're watching in the YouTube. So you can learn these things. So my easiest suggestion for the bachelor student to undertake the project would be, take up something which you can use with the data. For instance, GIS study. The data of NASA is available, or ISRO is available, Indian Space Research Organization, or Indian Geological Survey, or IMD, India Meteorological Department, on the weather patterns. So you can correlate weather patterns with, for instance, the distribution pattern, the plant distribution pattern. All these maps are available, high quality maps are available free of charge from GBIF, that is Global Biodiversity Information Facility. So you download these maps, and what do you know that even the maps from many years back is also available. For instance, 40 years old Ooty map, where the biodiversity and plant diversity is there. And right now the Ooty map, right? Nilgiri area, what is the difference? And how can you correlate that with the climate data that you download from the IMD? All these, friends, you can do that in the luxury of your own home and write in anywhere that you can do it. So you just need some good idea how to actually do it. So a good starting point is to read such paper, the papers that made use of this big data, right? And then especially when you're reading this paper, look at the methodology section. How did they do that? Then look up in the internet, especially in YouTube, you can easily get trainer videos, how to use this software and all. So instead of simply wasting your time, most of us waste our time, right? In social media, for instance, or pointless political debates in the TV, right? So what is the point of simply watching the same kind of debate hundreds of times, several hours a day? I'm not saying that don't be politically sensitive. No, go and do vote. But I think watching this kind of debates on TV for hours in one go is simply wasting your time, right? So instead of that, why don't you pick up some interesting talent? YouTube, search out the YouTube, how to use that software, right? And then you can do that. You can actually, even you can find an online mentor. You can approach any of the faculties. I also have this Young Academy of India, an academy which I founded. And the academy is one of the major, program of this academy is that twice a year, we call for something called Mentex. Mentex is matchmaking. So idea of this matchmaking is that mentor and mentee. So the students, including the school students and even unemployed youth, anyone can be a mentee. We matchmake with a professional scientist as well as faculties from colleges and universities. So for instance, a few years back, one of the student, it's a school student and lady, and she's very good with dancing. And but the student doesn't have any idea about physics of dancing. So we match made her with a physics professor from Central University of Tamil Nadu. Tiruvarur has the Central University. By the way, the best university in Tamil Nadu. Do you know which is the best university in Tamil Nadu? If you ask me, my answer is CUTN, Central University of Tamil Nadu, because that is the only central government supported university in the Tamil Nadu. My own alma mater is Madras University. I did my master's in Madras University. That is in Anna University campus, okay? Yeah, but nowadays, my answer is CUTN. The reason I'm telling you this is that most of the Tamil students I have interacted with didn't even know the existence of this university in Tiruvarur, because Tiruvarur is such a small, remote village, right? But Tiruvarur's, this university, friends, if you get a chance for going for the PG there, try it. And also for the PhD. Of course, you need to qualify CUET, which is a national level exam. And yes, so you can try there. Okay, so it's a very good thing. So yeah, that's it. That's my my thought about potential topics for BSc student here.
Thank you very much, sir. I think the take-home message for all our participants is to explore the ocean of big data that is available free of cost in and around the cyberspace that they are accessing daily. And everyone has laptop today in Tamil Nadu because of the scheme of Tamil Nadu government that provides laptop for every higher secondary school pass out. So we are having this infrastructure, this minimal infrastructure every student is having. The take-home message for them is to jump into the ocean of big data. So that is what I am also planning to disseminate to my students when I go to class. Thank you very much for your inspiring lecture, sir. And I'm thankful on behalf of Jamal Mohamed College, Department of Botany, as well as on behalf of the DBT Star College scheme. I would like to express my sincere thanks to you for spending your valuable time with us online and sharing your valuable suggestions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. My best wishes for the rest of this program.
Good morning, ma'am. Saranya, ma'am, am I audible to you? We will begin the proceedings within 5 minutes. We have to switch over the power supply from generator to the main power grid. So, ma'am, am I audible to you, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We are waiting for power switchover, ma'am.
Okay.
Few minutes.
Okay.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Good morning once again. We are entering into the second talk of first day of Interdepartmental Satellite Symposium on Interdisciplinary Studies in Biosciences. Here we have another eminent resource person from National Remote Sensing Center. Dr. KRL Saranya is a research associate in National Remote Sensing Center, Indian Space Research Organization, Hyderabad. She studied MSc Environmental Sciences in Andhra University, Visakhapatnam, and obtained first class with distinction. She has received a PhD in Environmental Sciences from Andhra University and National Remote Sensing Center in the year 2017. And she has accomplished with several projects, and her cap is decorated with the following diamonds of awards and recognition. She is a junior research fellow and senior research fellow in National Remote Sensing Center. She has received Best Research Paper Award in National Conference from Andhra University 2012. Dr. D.S. Kothari Postdoctoral Research Award in the year 2019. And she has also worked as a principal investigator for UGC funded project for 3 years in Jawaharlal Nehru University, Technical University, Hyderabad. And she is certified with merit in ISRO Biodiversity Peace Competition. And she has been selected as a research associate in NRSC ISRO 2022. And she has published 19 research papers in peer-reviewed journals. And she has reached a total of 498 citations with a H index above 10, that is 12. Certified as a recognized peer reviewer in Elsevier journals such as Ecological Informatics, Remote Sensing Applications, Society and Environment, Ecological Indicators. And she has been reviewer in Journal of Indian Society of Remote Sensing also. And she is a proud member of Indian Society of Remote Sensing. And she has significant contributions in the field of remote sensing and biodiversity applications. With this small introduction, may I invite Dr. KRL Saranya ma'am to present her talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present a talk on remote sensing applications in biodiversity and conservation. And sir, shall I share the screen? It is showing that disabled participant screen sharing.
Yes, ma'am. You can share the screen.
But it is giving notification that host disabled participant screen sharing.
Now you can share, ma'am.
Yeah, no, it is. Okay. The topic is on remote sensing applications in biodiversity and conservation, how the remote sensing helps in monitoring, identifying the different aspects of biodiversity and how we can conserve using this space satellite system. And before I complete my presentation, I try to give you a brief idea and what are the applications we can use with the remote sensing and GIS in biodiversity and conservation. And this is the outline of the presentation. It's a general introduction of biodiversity and conservation, and we will discuss about the basic concepts of remote sensing and how the satellite image will help you in depicting the different features on Earth's surface and different applications in forest ecology, environment, and biodiversity monitoring and conservation. So coming to the forest, about the significance of forests. Globally, it is recorded that 30% of the forest is observed according to FAO. And these forests are the complex ecological systems in which trees are the dominating life forms. So we depend on forests for survival, and from the air we breathe to the wood we use. And besides providing the habitat for animals and different livelihood, and forests also offer protection for watershed management and mitigates climate change and prevents soil erosion. So these forests are the complex and diverse ecosystems with extended valuable goods and services. And each forest type will provide a different unique biodiversity. Biodiversity is the variety and a variability of the life form in which different living organisms and their genes and the habitats are distributed across the region. So biodiversity is very important in our livelihood, in maintaining the stable environment and mitigating the climate change. So India, as we know that India is one of the mega biodiversity country, and it is occupying a 21% of the forest cover, which is providing invaluable services like such as livelihood resources and for our benefit like breathing air and food, water, fertile water, everything. And we all also have a different climate zones like tropical, subtropical, temperate, alpine, and subalpine with varied topography and the factors that each climatic zone will provide a unique biodiversity. So these biodiversity and the forest ecosystems can be applied to understand with the state-art technology using remote sensing and GIS. So why remote sensing? Why we have opted remote sensing means through remote sensing, we can collect the data systematically and in a repeated mode. For example, if an area is covered with a satellite image for this day, this satellite will have from 3 to 50 days of repeativity. So the same area will be repeated again with a systemic data collection. So if we cannot go and due to some terrain difficulties or topographic conditions, we cannot go there, go to the particular area of if we want some information about some forest type. So if it has having a different difficult terrain, so we can't go there. So with the use of remote sensing, we can get the information in a repeated mode and in a systematic manner. It also extends in a vast area. Vast area will be covered like a global coverage. Whatever the information we get from the Earth feature, it can be covered from local scale to global scale. And information, the information about the Earth surface, we will get within a very less time and is a cost effective. And multi-purpose information, like not only the Earth features, we also have different topography, land cover, and also weather conditions can also attained by different remote sensing applications. And next, this is a 3-dimensional, and also we get information about the 3-dimensional real objects. Like we can even structure of the 3-dimensional structure of the tree also can be obtained using this remote sensing and GIS techniques. And like sun is an ultimate source of energy. So we get energy in the form of light. So that energy beyond our visible region, another radiation like infrared rays, blue, and sphere, everything we cannot see with our naked eye. So that information can be captured using these remote sensing sensors in a very less time, and we can further analyze and capture, record, and analyze with the area of our interest. And it also requires very less human efforts too. So thus remote sensing help in promoting earth natural environment, and thus helps in different management and conservation prospects. And these are the different platforms, remote sensing platforms, like ground-based, airborne, and space-borne. Ground-based means like we can use optical remote sensing, LiDAR data, hyperspectral, and UAV. And UAV like drone data, we'll use till 150 meters height. These are the ground-based. So this information will give you the spectral information will be provided through the ground-based sensors. So this is the basic preliminary observation. Like for basic preliminary investigation, we use ground-based sensors. And this helps in understanding the concept of what is the available features on the ground. Like it might be a vegetation cover or any land use surface or anything. So if we want a basic understanding, we go for ground-based surface. And this also ground-based sensors will help in calibration. You will use for calibration, validation of these airborne and spaceborne sensors. And airborne sensors are like hyperspectral and SAR data, microwave data, LiDAR data also, and like about 3 kilometers of height from till 15 to 20 kilometers, we can use this airborne, like aircraft, we can use aerial photography. And these obtain, these are the platforms for smaller area and high resolution surveys we can get. And these are placed, before they placed in an orbit, these need to be tested with the ground-based information. And balloons, or earlier balloons in 1950s, balloons were also used for getting the information about the Earth surface or the Earth surface features. And also UAVs, it will 36 kilometers, we'll go for airborne sensors. And next, spaceborne sensors. Spaceborne sensors are different satellite systems. Space shuttles are data, synthetic aperture, radar data, and satellite data, hyperspectral, and different like from 36 kilometers, from 360 to 80 kilometers to 36,000 kilometers, we get we get the information on the Earth surface, and on a frequent repetitive mode, and in a large coverage area we will get. And it is also helpful in quantitative measurement of a particular feature or an area of interest. For example, so these are the different sensors. So if we go for a digital camera, we will use digital camera for attaining information about a feature like a person or a tree. So if you want information about a tree or a person, we use digital cameras. This will be giving you RGB information like red, green, and blue band. This information will be captured through digital camera. And for example, if we go for a campus level information like college level information or any little area extent, so that we can go for drone. So drones will give you an information about the area of the extent of the particular campus and what is the type of land use, land cover everything, and what are the features observed in that campus level. You can get through the drone. And aircraft, we can get information at a village level, like a local level. Village level information, we can get how much area it is occupying, what is the extent of that, its distribution. We'll get through the aircraft. And whereas in satellite, satellite will give you information about Earth, entire Earth surface, and whatever the features are present on the Earth surface, we can get easily from the satellite information. And for example, this is an Indian remote sensing satellite, ResoSat-1 LIS-3. In LIS-3, we have 4 sensors like this, like here it is shown 4 cameras, 4 sensors. So each sensor will having each band like green, blue, green, red, near infrared band, and infrared band. So this green, red band will be obtained in a visible region that can be seen with our naked eye. Beyond the green region and beyond the visible region are like band NIR and sphere band will give you information about the monitoring forest fires or vegetation pattern and how much is the chlorophyll present in the vegetation. You will get the information through that sensors. And it is having a swath width of 141 kilometers. That means in a single go, it covers 141 kilometers of an area for one repeative mode. With it's having a average spatial resolution of 23.5 meters. So the picture will be giving you, the image will be giving you with a 23.5 meter resolution with a single go on an area of 141, covering an area of 141 kilometers. So this is how, for example, just for easy understanding, I'll have shown this slide. This is a sensor. This sensor is fixed in these cameras. Each sensor will be like, if it is a LIS-3 will have 4 different sensors. Like one is, each sensor is having each band like green band, red band, NIR, and sphere. So these are fixed in a cameras, and these cameras are calibrated and tested. After that, it is placed in a satellite. Then after calibration and verification, once it is set in a satellite, then it is inserted for in a satellite system so that it can move to the polar orbital, and that gives you information through a satellite system. Then after inserting in a satellite image, then this rocket will be sent to the orbit, and that then it will open. That satellite image will give you through the sensors, it will give you the information about the Earth surface features, and we can extract the information of our area of our interest. Like this is a remote sensing process. Like sun is giving you energy in the form of a light, and some portion of the Earth light will be reflected, and some will be absorbed, and some will be emitted. So the reflected energy will be acquired by the satellite remote sensing system, and these sensors will be giving you information through antennas, and this antenna will be information is received from antennas, and then it is captured, recorded, and then further analyzed for better understanding and management prospect through GIS information system, geographical information system, through computer network system. How a remote sensing image look like? A remote sensing image is a composure of picture elements like pixels. Each pixel is representing a digital number values or a brightness values. So these digital number values, it's a gray image. A raw remote sensing image will be a gray image. So raw data will have each different bands with the gray color combinations, Each bands of our interest can be captured and then stacked into a the zip file. Every image or the raw data of this satellite remote sensing image will be in a zip format. So this zip format, in this zip format, we will get blue information, blue band information, green, red, NIR sphere, and thermal infrared radiation, everything you will get in a band wise. So this individual band will give you a gray image. These are here smaller, the range of 0 to 225, and these smaller numbers indicates a low average radiance from the area, whereas a higher number indicates high radiant properties of the area. So after stacking the layer, we will get as a true color or false color combinations. After combining all the band combination, we can observe the true color and false color. True color is our RGB, red, green, blue. Whatever we are seeing with our naked eye, you will get through true color. and false color beyond our visible region. Infrared and near infrared and SWIR bands will also be observed, will be captured here, so that it will help, this false color image will help you in delineating the vegetation features, because here green will be everything, it is included, like a forest ecosystem or a forest type or a grassland or a crop, everything is green here. But based on this image, we will get the properties, how the chlorophyll, amount of chlorophyll, how much it is absorbed, how the vegetation is responding, that can be captured through these NIR and SWIR bands. So that's why before we go for a delineation of a vegetation or any cover, we will opt false color combination band. What can we look for a satellite image? So if you observe a satellite image in a false color composite, everything will be red, blue, and based on different features, we will extract the information, like image interpretation key. There are certain image interpretation keys, like 7 interpretation keys, like tone, size, shape, pattern, shadow, texture, association, location. So tone is the relative brightness, color of the object, which color it is looking like. Some portions it is looking like a light pink, some are bright red. So each color, each tone is giving its own value. Like bright red will be observed with a dense type of forest, and light will be like some agriculture fields or some open type of forest. And size, how much the size occupying in an area, and shape, how the shape of the river or water will be. So how the object will be, how the shape will be, and mountains will have different shapes, and river bodies will have different shapes, and plantations will have different shapes. Like plantations will have a regular pattern, like a square shape. It will have, and spatial arrangement, how these are spatially arranged, like rivers, water bodies, how they are arranged, how they are distributed with different patterns and shadows. Due to some sun illumination angle, it will give you some, like mountains or hills will give you shadows. So that can be eliminated with some corrections, atmospheric corrections. And texture, how the object is, how the feature is looking. Like it is a fine texture or a medium texture or a coarse, like it is a smooth or rough. We have to observe that, and based on the type of texture, we can delineate the information. And how next, association. Association means occurrence of the certain feature in relation to the other, like water body is associated with some other settlements, like rivers or what roads and other network systems. So how these features are associated with another feature, and location, where exactly which location it is captured from. So this kind of information we will get with the help of satellite image interpretation keys. So like these are the satellite image interpretation keys. With the help of these image interpretation keys, we will delineate information like evergreen. So as we said earlier, as I have given you earlier, that coarse resolution and how coarse the object is looking. So here it is very dark red, means it is giving a coarse area. And with a dense forest, it can be recognized as a dense forest, and the light will be an open forest on any agriculture or other grassland areas. And deciduous forest will be appearing in this form. And riverine forest means river adjacent to the forest, river body, forest systems will be observed. So this can be captured as a riverine forest. And grasslands, these are the grasslands, how we can observe in a satellite image in false color composite system. And these are the plantations, regular pattern, it will be like, it is a square, everything, it is arranged like a spatial arrangement. And it is an agriculture with small blocks information we will get as a regular. This agriculture will be observed as a block in a row or a line or in a particular area. And this is a river body, how the river body is occupying. It might be a dam or any, if it is a river line, it will be looking like this. And if it's a dam or anything, it will give you the information. And this is the settlements, villages, if any villages are there, how many buildings or any other constructions are there. So we will get the information about the settlements from this. And this is, if I go for Himachal Pradesh, it's a RGB color combination, like an original picture of this Himachal Pradesh system, forest ecosystem. And whereas the same image in infrared combination, in infrared band, it will be observed like this. After layer stacking, with the help of infrared, you will get the information like this. So this is having different reflection properties. So based on these reflection properties, we can delineate the information of our interest. applications. How the remote sensing is applied in different categories like vegetation assessment. So not only for vegetation assessment, it also helpful in delineating the information about the forest fires, fragmentation, and we can also get information about species distribution model, biomass, how much biomass is present in the particular a plant or a tree, and about the ecosystem, forest type. We will get the information of each and about everything. And here for vegetation assessment, if we capture a remote sensing image of any particular area, we have to delineate the forest cover, type, and community level assessment and location. And for this, we have to add ground data. Like first, after getting the remote sensing image, we have to select the area of interest. After selecting the area of interest, we have to do some corrections like geometry corrections and rectifications. And that we have to extract the area. And then based on the image interpretation case, we will delineate using different classification methods. It might be as unsupervised method classification or supervised classification. Then we'll extract the information about the forest cover, presence of forest cover in that particular area. Then accordingly, forest type distribution also can be observed. So once the forest type distribution is also delineated, then we can go for species level recognition. So after delineating each and every information, this ground data information has to be added. We have to go to a field and get the information through GPS. Each locations we have to carry out, like if we have delineated the vegetation type such as open forest, dense forest, and it is a semi-evergreen or a moist deciduous or dry deciduous, a savanna, any type of forest. If we have delineated, we will go to the field and capture the images of the particular field and record the locations, and then validate with our remote sensing image, which is classified. Then we will go for accuracy assessment. Once the accuracy assessment is reaching about 90%, then we can convert this as a properly delineated accurate map. So with the ground data, after using remote sensing image, we will get the information about the forest cover, type, and community level, species level information. Once the ground data is also added to this remote sensing image, we can also attain the information of timber, non-timber, and biomass estimation, how much biomass is present in that type of the forest or a tree, and how much carbon is present in the forest. We can obtain that information, and with all this information will be analyzed with the help of GIS by using multi-temporal, multi-criterial approach or running modeling approach. So this GIS will help you in analyzing, and then it will be, once the data is ready and once the information is ready, then we can use for further analysis, and we can use that data for management prospect in the form of a biodiversity or a monitoring of the forest, how much of the forest has been degraded, how much of the fire observed, and how these forest can be managed, and what are the ecological impact assessment we can do, and how these forests can be conserved. In such way, we can observe these statistics. And like this is the multi-resolution satellite data set for deriving information. We have different scales of information satellite. Like some satellites are ranging from 1 meter to 56 meters. Like Moody's data will have 8 to 50 meter resolution, and AWIFS is having 56 meter resolution. Like 56 meter pixel means 56 into 56. One pixel is having area of 56 into 56 meters. So AWIFS is covering a large scale information, means a large, like 56 meter information is a high resolution. So this give you information at a high range. And whereas for analyzing species level information, we can go for 1 meter, 2 meter satellite images. So large scale information will be provided with this AWIFS list 3, like 23.556. This you will get large scale information. So what the suitable data we are selecting also plays a major role in choosing our experiment. So forest type mapping, how a forest type will be mapped. So before mapping a forest type, we have to observe two different data sets. One is dry season and other is wet season, like post-monsoon and pre-monsoon. So because in dry season, everything will, most of the deciduous trees will shed their leaves and remain dry. Because of that, it will be like underestimated. That type of the forest, that vegetation cover will be underestimated. And if we go for some wet season, much of the leaf flush will be observed during rainy season. like August and October time, like September time, much of the lush green environment will be observed. So for that, it will be like overestimated. So to compare these, a proper delineation of this forest cover has to be observed. So we have to compare two different data sets. Optimal season data sets is very important in delineating a particular forest type feature. So dry deciduous, it is how it looks like in summer season, how the dry deciduous forest will be looking like, and in moist deciduous, how it is looking like in optimal like some wet season, and how it is looking like in dry season. And semi-evergreen is like almost it maintains the same chlorophyll content, same greenness. So it will be appearing almost similar in dry and another wet season. So we have to concentrate much on dry deciduous forest and moist deciduous and also grasslands. So for that, we have to get information for two different seasons. And as an example, the images of Kinnaur district in Himachal Pradesh have been selected here. So this is how the satellite image in false color composite looks like during August rainy season. And it is during October it looks like, and February how it looks like. See, if you observe this natural color composite of the satellite images, we can see during August it is showing full of vegetation cover, occupied, that particular area is fully occupied with the vegetation cover. And during October it is like moderately distributed, and it is, and during dry season it is like very underestimated. So these three has to be considered and then delineated accordingly, processed and delineated accordingly under the expertise of the particular GS specialist. And this is how, as an example, this is how the vegetation dynamics, vegetation type will be observed, like which from August to May, how the vegetation will be distributed. Like August, it is showing a very high amount of vegetation cover, and in September, it is showing little less, and in October, it is showing little less. Like in April, May, it is showing very less. So all this has to be taken into our mind before further analysis. And like high vegetation is observed in the August and low vegetation is observed in the January month. So this has to be keep in our mind and before going for further analysis of the delineation process. This is what reconnaissance survey, like we will go for a field visit and we will capture all the information about the different types of forest, and we will take the locations of the each forest type, and then these locations will be added to the ground information satellite image information system, like satellite classified data and on ground data, real ground information will be combined together for accuracy assessment. Then we can report how much accurate is our classified map. Forest cover or type assessment. This is how the different, this is how the earlier methodology has followed and implemented and delineated for SAARC countries, South Asian countries. This is how the vegetation type and land cover has been extracted using the image interpretation and classification techniques. And these statistics extracted for vegetation type and land use land cover information for South Asian countries. So different types of forest has been delineated, like wet evergreen forest, dry evergreen forest, and subtropical, as we have mentioned that earlier, that climatic system like tropical, subtropical, temperate, alpine, or subalpine. Each climatic zone will have a different distribution of the vegetation type. So accordingly, those are classified using climatic gradients and field information. And the canopy density. How the canopy density mapping is done using satellite image. So as per SS, according to FSI, Forest Survey of India, if a forest is observed as very dense, if it is having a canopy closure, canopy in the sense the forest crown closure, the tree is having a crown area, how much is occupied on the ground. So that canopy closure, if it is more than 70%, it can be considered as a very dense forest. And if it is a moderately dense forest, is having a 40 to 70% of the canopy closure. And if it is ranging between 10 to 40, it will be an open forest. Like if on field, if we observe, it will be like the first image will be like you can, from the ground, if you go to a forest area and if you stand in the middle of the area, and if you look at the sky, you will observe that the area is fully occupied with the tree crown. So that will be having a more than 70%. And if you observe some portion of sky, then you can consider it as a 40 to 70%. And if you observe a very little portion of the crown area, then you can consider this as an open forest, which is having 10 to 40% canopy closure. And forest fragmentation assessment. How this forest fragmentation assessment can be done? There are certain software tools like landscape fragmentation tool. After getting the information from the satellite image, we will delineate all the forest cover and information. Then we will take the forest cover information, and then we will use the forest, how much is the forest is fragmented, like discontinuous patches site in the forest, like one natural landscape will be intact. So without disturbance, only single large area will be there. That is like a core forest. And if it is continuously, it is segregated into a different patches. So that particular forest area is breaked into different small pieces, like a perforations. It can be considered as a fragmentation. So this impact of fragmentation will definitely affect the habitats and other wildlife species in the forest system. This is how the forest fragmentation delineated for South Asian countries using the different satellites, not only with the satellite image system and also with using different analysis system like tools. Landscape fragmentation tool is a software that helps in delineating different information about the fragmentation class. How much is the patch size, the core area, how much is the core area without the area which is not disturbed, that area, and how much area is into our pores, and how much the area is very adjacent to roads or settlements. How much is the edge is the we will find edge as 100-meter distance from the road or settlement area. So how much is each fragmented class of the forest cover will be getting information through this statistics, with this statistics. And forest change detection. If you observe in a satellite image, you can see here, during 1973, it is in Navaranpur district in Odisha. If you see in a satellite image, in a false color composite, it will be in 1973. This is the forest cover area occupied in an image. And if you observe the same area during 2004, and this is the area, how much of the forest has lost, like a deforestation. That means how much area has been changed into forest to different land use land covers will be delineated with the help of these satellite images. Biomass estimation, how the biomass can be estimated with the satellite image. So we will get the information from the field data, field derived information we will take, and satellite image information we will take. Then after satellite image information, we will derive each component like NDVI, SAR data, EVI like enhanced vegetation index, and we will extract the information, how much is the vegetation content is present, how much is the thickness, or how dense the forest is, how dense the vegetation is, what is the health of the vegetation. Then accordingly, we will apply certain indices, like linear regression methods we will apply, and then we will estimate the above ground biomass. And this is from field derived, and this is through our remote sensing image derived. And then we will prepare a biodiversity map. This biodiversity distribution map will helpful for global level conservation and implementing certain policies and other action plans in maintaining and managing and conserving the particular system. Forest fire monitoring. How remote sensing helps in forest fire monitoring. So in general, deciduous forests are fire-prone ecosystems because they shed their leaves during dry season. So they will contain certain fuel, amount of fuel, and dry litter will be observed. So this helps in fire. It will capture those dry leaves and then spreads its fire in with a vast range. And this is how the fire image will look like in a satellite image. Here, active, burnt, and post fire signatures on a satellite image will be appearing like this. This is a satellite image information with the help of SWIR bands, shortwave infrared band. This is a moisture absorbing band. So this helps in depicting the fire information. It will easily identify the active fire locations, and this is how the fire location will observe, and the fire area and the fire smoke. And this is the satellite image, and this is a real ground information that has been captured during the field visit. So these are the burning of the forest pictures that during field visit we have captured the different extents of forest fires. And this the daily monitoring of the forest fires in India will be observed in Bhuvan portal NRSC. So we can observe the locations, where the locations are falling, where the fire is observed, in which location, in which district, each district wise, each locations will be observed through Bhuvan portal. It is entire year from January 1st to December 12th, each and every year, every month, every day, fire monitoring will be observed using Moody's data. And this is how the forest burnt area. For forest burnt area also, we go for dry season data. Dry season data will give you information about the forest fire information, and with it will give you a signatures of either dark black color, or in a natural color composite, it will give you a dark or deep purple color. So accordingly, we will extract the information and extract the fire information, and we will observe with the different analysis. We will observe the fire which is spreading in different vegetation types. How much of the vegetation type is burnt repeatedly? Then we can analyze further. And tropical, generally dry deciduous forests are more prone to fire. And as mentioned, it is showing that 46% of the burnt area is observed in forest of India during 2014. And state-wise is the forest fire area, and in Odisha it is observed with a high amount of fire burnt area, and 7% of the forest cover of India is affected in 2014, and these are the number of forest burnt patches during analysis it was recorded. So these are the temporal variability of the forest fire, like in state-wise, how much is the forest fire is observed, like different months, like February, March, April. These are the dry seasons. So each month is having its own signature of the fire. So each month signatures are recorded here. And after fire releases certain gases, so greenhouse gases and aerosols. So this will definitely affect the regional scale level, and affect the climate system. And this fire among gases, trace gases like carbon emissions, which are derived from the forest fire, are also being analyzed with different formulas, mathematical formulas, like applying E equals to A into B into beta into EF. Like A is the burnt area, how much is the burnt area is observed during a particular year, and B is the biomass, how much is the biomass observed in that fire area, and beta is the burning efficiency, what is the burning efficiency of the particular forest type in that year, and EF is the emission factor. This emission factor is derived from different literature surveys like Andre Merlet and Celler Rugen's 1993 and 2003 methods. So this has been derived, and is after applying the mathematical equations, this fire, how much of the carbon emissions have been released in that particular year has been noticed here and recorded. Like from forest, these are the like CO2, carbon monoxide, methane, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide. So each carbon emission is observed here, and how much it is emitting from the forest, from the scrub type of vegetation, from the grassland. It is given detailed information, and how much is the telegrams of emission has been released with in that year has been given here. And biodiversity monitoring. So there are certain methods in inventorying the biodiversity. So if you want to monitor the biodiversity, there are two approaches. One is time consuming, like first is genetic level to landscape level. If you want to go for species level to landscape level, it will be difficult, because species level means we have to get the information at a fine scale information, and we have to go for ground. Without understanding the knowledge of the type of landscape, type of the ecosystem there, we cannot go to the species target directly. So, and if you go for approach to, it is a stratified approach, like it is from landscape level to genetic level. Like landscape, if you go for a field area, and entire landscape, if you go for study, like different types of ecosystem will be there, different types of forest will be there. So what are the forest types are present, what is the type of ecosystem available, and what kind of plant species are distributed. So accordingly, how much plant species, which type of forest is occupying at major and which is occupying at a minor scale. So we have to observe, understand each at biosphere level to a larger area to smaller area. Then we can go for the hierarchical approach. Then we can observe the information at a biosphere level to species level, at large scale level to small scale level. So biodiversity information across different scales. Different scales means here different images, spatial resolution. Like landscape level, we can use like 50-meter resolution. Like earlier it is said that a large scale information will be derived with a large resolution. So landscape level, we can get information with a 50-meter resolution. And with the 10-meter evolution, by implementing certain environmental settings, we can get information about the cover type. What forest cover is there? What is the forest cover type? It is a semi-evergreen or a deciduous or grassland or a scrub, anything. So community. Community is what is a floristic structure and composition present in that particular area. How the vegetation is formed, how the vegetation is segregated, and how many tree patches are there, what is a canopy, what is a forest, open forest, dense forest. We will get the information at 5 meters to a 10-meter level, and also 1 meter. The tree height will be captured at 1 meter level, and tree structure, how the individual tree crowns, structures, and species type are distributed. And then next, from landscape level to species level, then leaf structure, how the leaf structure will be observed using certain leaf area index, terrestrial as a scanner. You will get the information about the leaf structure and how the leaf is oriented. Everything we can understand with from if you study at large scale level to small scale level under different spatial scales. And this is the landscape level biological richness map generated for the India. So very high biological richness map indicates a unique biodiversity with a high diverse system, and high indicate very high, next to very high it is high, it is maintains a unique system, and very low indicates that it might be a disturbed area because of different threat factors or because of any influence of anthropogenic factors or any other disturbances. And prosopis invasion. Invasion of species can also be monitored through remote sensing and image techniques. So in satellite image, in false color composite, this is how the prosopis looks like. It might be giving you some color, like some shades of pink or red with a high or high radiance values. Like it is in 1977, this prosopis invented by the introduced by the government in 1977. The satellite image will be appearing, the invasion giving you the information like this. And in 1990, the spread of this invasion is captured like this. And in 1999, how the extent of the invasion is distributed, how the prosopis is distributed. And in some way, these wild as are also contributing some, its part in expanding the prosopis invasion as an invasive species, because the wild as is eating the prosopis fruits, and there's the fruit is like it is having some seed dormancy, so it can't be digested. And the excretory system, excretory product is you can observe the mesquite, how the seedlings of mesquite will be observed from the dung. So wild deers are also playing some role in it, distributing, spreading its invasive species distribution. So this has to be observed, monitored, and then identified, mitigated to reduce the impact of its impact on biodiversity. And next is species distribution modeling. Why species distribution has to be modeled? If you observe any info like invasive species are getting now then threat to the environment, like by ecosystem. So that invasive species, you can help in identifying the locations. So for identification and conservation purpose, we go for endangered species or endemic species. And certain invasive species for monitoring and management purpose, we will use we can go for species distribution for invasive species. So different how the species is distributing, what might be the which factor, climatic factor is influencing its distribution, and its potential occupation can be studied through this species distribution modeling. So if it is an invasive species, it is getting very worse and it is impacting a lot to the forest system. So these species locations and invasive species locations can be captured using GPS, and then the presence locations can be used for further modeling purpose, and the extent of the species location can be observed. Likewise, the endemic species. Endemic species are the restricted species but to a particular environment. That also plays a major role in its in conservation. So these endemic species, how we can protect these endemic species can also be observed through this species distribution modeling. So all we need is presence locations. See, this is how the species distribution will be done. The species present data we have to collect, and to this species data, environmental layers like climatic variables and what are the climatic like temperature, precipitation, rainfall or humidity, which is affecting at a major end, like 19 climatic variables will be derived from climate data, world clim data. So all these climate data will be added to this climate system, and after using some spatial correlation techniques, we can use this species distribution model in a software like Maxent. So you can add that location, presence location, by integrating, incorporating these environmental layers, and we can observe the likely potential distribution of that species, so that we can go there to that particular area and we can try to manage in giving information and managing that particular area to prevent the spread of invasion. So like we can delineate a map like highly suitable, which area is highly suitable, which climatic parameter is affecting its distribution, showing what is the importance of that variable and how it is influencing that particular factor. We can easily delineate it through this species distribution modeling and through remote sensing. And this will be helpful for conservation at regional scale level to local scale, global scale level. So these are the different sites we can go for data. We will get some different sites. We will get the data through like world clim data. You will get environmental variables, and eBird data will get the presence locations. It may be endemic or threatened, or it might be a plant species or an animal species or any invasive species. Also, we'll get the information through GIF. And you can run these other software modeling methods are also there, like neural networks and deep learning methods like convolution methods and Maxent and linear regression methods. Everything can be available in this particular website. So you can run and try implementing for the identification of potential distribution map. So this is the case study in Araku area. It's a Vishakhapatnam area. The pictures of the locations has been captured. The invasive species like Chromalena outrata and Lantana camera, two worst invasive species at a global level. So these have been captured using GPS, and the satellite image has been captured and then identified whichever the areas are observed with high invasion, those areas are extracted, and then it is with by integrating the environmental layers. This potential distribution map has been prepared for each type of species, Lantana camera, how it is occupying at its distribution at a high end towards this side, and it is towards left side. The Chromalena outrata is occupying its distribution. So this is a potential distribution map that has been published in Ecological Informatics Journal. And the next, high resolution data provides critical information, like species level information. If you want to capture, you want to attain, you can also use hyperspectral remote sensing. This hyperspectral remote sensing is, as of now, we have discussed about the multispectral image, and this hyperspectral is a continuous narrow bands. It is ranging from about 200 spectral bands will be available. So this give you a detailed information from visible layer range to a different wavelengths about each individual species. This is how this hyperspectral image cube will look like. So these are the spectral reflectance curves for a forest vegetation type or any vegetation cover or soil. So how these are reflected for each species level, how it is reflecting. So we will get the information at different scales. And this is how the spectral remote sensing of a particular landscape area will give you information. And species diversity mapping can also be done and analyzed with the spectral information, hyperspectral remote sensing. So biomass estimation can also be how much is the biomass can be delivered from the each type of species can also be estimated with the spectral hyperspectral remote sensing type of method. And this information will give you a detailed baseline information, way, so that it will helpful for the mitigation purpose at pixel level to local level, global level. So that's all. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to giving a talk on remote sensing applications in biodiversity and conservation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for this extensive lecture on remote sensing applications in biodiversity studies. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
And a few of our students would like to know job opportunities at National Remote Sensing Center, as well as some students who are interested in internship programs. Can you give some idea to them about how to enter into this field? There are students from mathematics, physics, botany, zoology, chemistry also. So
Yes, sir.
maybe you can throw light on that.
Yeah, mathematics. Yes, sir. These backgrounds are also welcome in NRSC. Like if they want to go for intern, they have to contact a PI of the particular person who, and they have to select which topic they want to work on. Like if it is a forest ecology, like biodiversity, if it is a water resource, different applications are there. Not only in forest and biodiversity, and different remote sensing can be applied in different aspects like ocean, water resources, agriculture, different aspects. So based on their interest, they're always welcome to which if they have any idea, okay. Otherwise, they can just propose with some idea what they want to work on. They can always welcome to the NRC.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now some of our students are enlightened with your lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
At this juncture, we would also like to thank Dr. Sudhakar Reddy, Head of the Department of Forest Ecology Division, National Remote Sensing Agency, Hyderabad, for his constant support and encouragement to our department in organizing this program. And on behalf of DBT Star College Scheme of Jamal Mohamed College, I express my sincere thanks to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
giving me
for
this opportunity.
sharing your valuable time with us and giving an extensive picture to our students. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So shall I leave?
Yes, ma'am. You can stop sharing your screen. You can exit the meeting, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Now the screen sharing has stopped, it seems, right?
Yes, ma'am. Screen share is closed. You can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. I'll leave. Thank you so much. I have some other meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, we are having an off-screen break for 10 minutes. We will begin the proceedings after 10 minutes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sanjeev, sir, are you able to hear me? Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sir, am I audible to you? Yes, sir.
It's
Shall we proceed?
start.
Dear participants, we are moving on to third lecture today under the banner of Interdepartmental Satellite Symposium on Interdisciplinary Studies in Biosciences. Here we have another eminent resource person from Intellectual Property Division and Startups and Incubation Division of National Research Development Corporation, New Delhi. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Majumdar is heading the division which is responsible for manifesting the intellectual property into real properties, real wealth. So NRDC was created with the mandate to promote and commercialize indigenously developed technologies emanating from various academic institutions in the country. So if we have some innovations, we can definitely contact Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Majumdar for manifesting it into a reality. More than 17 years of valuable experience in the field of
Good afternoon, everyone.
and he's a member of Interministerial Board, Secretariat of Startup India Initiative of Government of India. He has expertise in conducting patent search and has been dealing with new patent applications received by NRDC for patent assistance. And he's well experienced in prosecution of patent right from day one of filing it to facing the institute, attorney and patent office, etc. He has guided so many people to file patents as well as to get them granted. He is an expert consultant for various uh, organizations and companies like Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Ministry of Defense and Indian Army and Indian Navy, BDL, BEL and Ministry of Heavy Industries, NTPC, etc. He has organized more than 30 workshops and seminars for creating awareness about intellectual property rights across the country. He has delivered numerous invited lectures on IPR, and here we are also going to listen one such lecture. And prior to joining NRDC, he has worked with Professor Anil K. Gupta at National Innovation Foundation of India, Ahmedabad, where he worked for grassroots innovation.
क्या हुआ? मेरा वो इसी फोन के नेट पे जो है कि मेरा वो त्रिची का लेक्चर चल रहा है. कोई बात नहीं, मैं इसको कर लूं.
Sir, am I audible?
So now you
Hello,
are audible.
good afternoon. I'm audible now.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it was some network problem over the phone. I received a call and it got disconnected.
With this,
No issues. Thank you very much to organizers. Thank you, Dr. Balaguru, for this program. And just for technical problem, I'm very much sorry to everyone. I got disconnected from this event. So sharing the screen, is it okay?
Please share your screen, sir.
Thank you. So we are from NRDC. About NRDC, if anyone knows, then it's okay. We are a government of India company. It was established in 1953 with a mandate to commercialize the technologies from emitting from all public funded institutes, and we are doing it for about now 7 decades, 70 years now, completing this year. And it's only government company which is involved in technology transfer activities. And for the technology transfer, we source the technologies from the labs, and about we have supported to 2 lakhs of employment generations. We have a database of 2,500 technologies, and the industries, those who got benefit from the technology transfer, they are about more than 5,000 plus. We have an office in Delhi and 2 regional offices, at one in Vizag, one in Pune, and 2 incubation centers, one in Bhubaneswar, one in Bangalore, that is in collaboration with CSIR, and another outreach office that is being inaugurated this month in January. It is in Guwahati, in Guwahati Biotech Park. So these are the activities where we have started in 1953, and now we are part of the various startup incubation ecosystem now. So different activities in global presence also. We have done some projects in Ivory Coast and African countries, also in Ghana. And so major activities of NRDCs, if I wish to brief you, that we have some 2 group of activities. One is our promotional activities, another is our commercial activities. Into where in promotional activities we are supporting to the startups, academic researchers, even to individual researchers also. We have different schemes from where we supporting to the researchers. One of the good scheme is here the TDVC scheme, where we are supporting about 1 crore rupees of support for the development of a technology at the POC stage level. Similarly, another scheme is there is seed funding for the startup, which is for 30 lakh rupees of investment into the company. And these are for the startups and industries. Now for the academia, we have a good scheme, that is a techno-commercial level support and scheme, TCS support and priority project scheme. Into that, we are supporting up to 2 lakhs to 10 lakh rupees of support to make your technology as a POC stage from your research ecosystem. So that support is also open every time. Anyone can seek support for that. And for the academia and for the individuals and for the research institute scientists, we run a scheme for past more than 30 years. It is for the patent filing. If you have something innovative and you're looking for support that get that protect by filing a patent application in India, you need not to worry about the costs and the fees, huge fees of the attorneys. You can simply approach us that you are interested to file your patent application. We will assess that is it suitable as per the patent law, and then we will file the patent application for you, and it will be your property. You have to maintain further after the grant. Apart from that, we are supporting the startups, we are supporting for the VDV mechanism, we are also supporting taking as a priority projects, and several government of India schemes also we are managing from our side. And apart from these promotional programs, we have our business activities also, where we are as a consultant, we are into startup India scheme, we are into IOCL, we are into MHI, and we also work with Ministry of Defense, where we are getting paid from there, and we charge the fees from them for all their activities to support that. And a major activity NRDC was meant for to commercialize technologies from the research labs that we do for all the labs what we have. And we have incubation center here in Delhi, and 2 at, as I said, that one in Bhubaneswar, one in NAL Bangalore. So those are specific. In Delhi, it is sector agnostic. in those both centers are, one is in aerospace, another is in material sciences, and they are doing good. And upcoming one ecosystem center is there into very soon. It will be in Chennai CLRI. It will be on the leather research particularly. So we'll be very soon. We are in process to establish that. So it was established with commercial technologies, and it's a kind of a one-stop solution for entrepreneurs. So these are some data. Just I'm removing it. Maybe not relevant here, but we work in every sector, in every technology sector. So here our business model, where we source the technologies and where we transfer this technology, and these are the activities where we are supporting, and these are our commercial skills. So this is the basic pool. And then success stories, if I say those who are participating here, if you are a validator, you got a ink mark over your index finger, that blue ink that has been very fast. It was transferred by NRDC to Mysore Pension Foundation, and they are still manufacturing and selling it to the Election Commission of India, and you get a mark over your index finger. Those who are old, and if they had baby milk powder of Amul, that is also from the NRDC. It was developed by one CSIR lab, and it was transferred by NRDC. So these are the histories. Another thing, that's a small HP tractors, 20 HP tractors. Sonalika tractors must have been seen in nearby in blue color tractors. Those are also NRDC technologies. So from beginning from those infant food to tractors and durable link, we have in herbal technology also. We have this blood bags, that is from the Trivandrum only. It has been transferred to 5 licenses, and if you are going to any blood bank, you are getting getting blood transfusion. Either you are donating or as a user after the post-operative measures. That polybags are, and again, it's an RC technology. The brand name is Hemopack from the HLL. It is available nearby to you. So similarly, there are many technologies close to you. It is available, but may not be. You have heard about the name of the NRDC, but we are everywhere. So I'm just skipping from here. I'm going to present as the topic assigned to me. It was that I have to detail you about the patenting process of the biodiversity. So most of the audience, those who are attending this program, they are into the biodiversity and botany and licenses. So patenting in general, I will take, and then again I will detail about the in biodiversity how you have to protect your patent. So in general, IP, whenever the creativity is there from your research work you are doing. So creativity, you have to identify the nature of creativity, how it is, how you have contributed to the knowledge, and what appropriate mechanism is to protect that. So depending on the nature of the creativity, there are certain laws into that. We have to go for the protection into that. So property, what we have created, this creativity, that's it's like other tangible properties, say your intellectual property. It's because it is generated from your mind and you have created it. So its protection is required, like very much similar to your tangible properties. You protect it. There are registration papers, there are succession papers. Those things are documents for your mobile properties. Here, what from your mind you have created, you have to get it protected through appropriate mechanism, either it's a patent or a copyright or a trademark or a GI applications. So, if you go for the legal definition, it is the legal rights which result from activity in the scientific, literary, and artistic fields. So all sort of activities, creativities can be protected, and it's in legally it is defined, categorized into two: literary and artistic in a different category, and the industrial property in a different category. So similar to the other property, it can be also sold, it can be also bought, it can be also leased or rent, it can be also assigned to someone, and it can be also passed under the by will from one generation to another generation, as it is being practiced for your movable properties. So, it gives you right to economically benefit from that. It gives you right to commercially exploit that, and again it gives back the capital expenditure what has been done for the research, and also it helps to transferring your technology too. So again, for the researchers, those who are creating, those who are writing papers, those who are completing your research work, and if you are working and it's kind of some product or process you are coming out from your research, then it has to be protected through the patents. And research papers you all publish that those things you those who have published paper here they know that when you are submitting your research paper to a journal, the journal says that okay, this is a form you have to sign and you have to return it to the publisher, and this is the corporate form where you share your economic rights with the publisher, and as moral rights returns with you always. So the copyrights always you have practiced but may not be noticed it. So always when you publish a paper, it is there in your name, and whatever you are using from others as a teaching material or as a reading material or as a research, as a practice, as a general ethical practice, we cite those things from where we have received, from where we are quoting it. So those are a kind of ethical practice where we quote that from where it has been retrieved. But maybe few authors here, if you have practiced that you are reporting to some publisher, you wish to use a graph or you used to use a pictures from their published articles, and then they say that for that you have to pay as a fee for that to commercially use that things. So those are the economic rights where the publisher retains with them and they get it charged from the users, those who are asking for again. Copyright, as a researcher, I defined it again. The copyright for not for the researchers, for the literary work, music industry, film industry, and all these are protected in the copyright. So here, the creativity from the academia, I covered patent and copyright. Two things are there. Patent, I will describe in detail. Other for the things where you are something you are going to sell into market, then some product will be there. The product will be having its own attributes, how good it looks. Then the product has to be protected on the industrial design. And again, when it is being sold into the market, or if you are serving to the market to the large community at large, then you have to establish a brand name for your product or services. So those brand names are to be established by registering a trademark for that product or service. So trademarks are basically a instrument where you create your identity to the masses, and brand itself grows with your uh, tenure of service, how you have delivered, how you have made available your product into market, and post sales services also. So with that, it is kind of a branding is a attained attribute for your services or for your goods, but a trademark is a legal instrument for that to protect that identity into particular, it will be a logo or a emblem or a particular kind of identity for that product into over that product by the way you are putting a label over that. So those things are to be registered under Trademarks Act, and it is perpetual, like 10 years, 10 years, 10 years, you can go with that. Other IP rights may not be necessary here, like plant variety and farmer rights, which is for the farmers, those who create new varieties, and plant breeders. It is for them here, may not be necessary here. But those by my licensed students, those are in plant breeding, they have to learn that also. The three, four criteria is novelty, distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability. That has to be taken care. And there are dust testing for every crop. That in dust testing they have to qualify. Then it is getting registered from the Plant Variety and Farmer Science Authority, PPFRA. So those details are available. If anyone is here, they can ask me directly for these queries. But patents, I'm going to detail later on. Traditional knowledge here, traditional knowledge is as it says that traditional, it means it is continued from generation to generation. The knowledge which was existing already, now we are practicing, or we are knowing, or we are as a user. So it is protected by memory, protected by in a book, or protected by a practice. So those things are a IP of the community where it is being used for a long. Similarly, the geographical indications is also a knowledge of community being practiced as a goods or products, and again kind of a brand. GI is very famous in these things, like we say as a Kanjipuram sari, or we say as a Thanjavur dolls, or we say as a Beganapalli mango, or from here. So it can be GI can be of three categories: as artificial handicraft product, or agriculture produce, or kind of where the things are kind of a community is involved with that, to making that and to producing that, those things. So it's again a known knowledge, but into a restricted area, and always have attained a famous signature with that. Its sari is from the Kanjivaram, or the doll is from the Thanjavur. Those entities, it is attained. Now the GI Act registers itself in the thing, and the secondary, the registered users, they can get benefit of that. So the purpose of this GI Act registry is that to provide the original and the authentic product to the user. So, and also at the same time to the pay back a good amount to the artisans involved with that. So these are not related directly to you, but yes, the researchers, those who are attending this program, they have to think about their creativity for the patents, designs, and copyrights. These all three things are very important for you. So I am going to describe this data, basically how a patent office publishes the annual reports, and they have said that in India we filed about in 16, 17 and 2021 how it has been growth. So maybe data is not important, but first thing is required, you have to generate for yourself. These are the numbers who are the number one in filing the patent applications in India. So in from the Indian institutions, and it is from the institutions from the other foreign residents applications, those who are having it. So starting from the patent here, I start with. So hopefully everyone, if any questions in between, you can raise hands or you can chat, ping me in chat box. I'm available for that. So a patent is an exclusive right granted for the invention, which is a product for the process. I said that given from your resource, something is there, any innovative product, and a product or process is emanating from your research, you have to go for filing a patent application for that. And a patent is being granted by the government of India for the 20 years from the date of the application. The time is, and just must remember that it's a territorial right. Territorial right means even it's filed in India, then its rights are protected in India only, and if it's filed in US, then protected in US only. So because of that, we say as a territorial right. With for which country? Am I audible? No. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. Yes. Sometimes the call comes and it got disconnected, so that's why I execute. So patenting, it's very fanciful. When the research is good and you have a good product or process, you have to file for that. There are certain prerequisite criteria when we are going for filing. The office, the act says that it should be new, novel. It should involve an innovative step, but it means that it should not be. It can be. It should be non-obvious to the known others. And it must be capable of industrial application, means to again multiply it, to sell it, to make it a product, make it available to everyone, as you envisaged, as your research, to benefit the society, like that. So patenting activity, when you are receiving the application as a faculty, those who are facilitator here, they can also support facilitate the students and faculty, that when they are anyone is receiving an application, then the committee has to committee or the whoever the mentor is there, can just conducting a prior art search. Prior art search means whatever existing before the filing of that application, those data we have to collect and we have to compare that. We can say that yes, it is new. Likewise, in your research, you do a literature survey and you say that no one has done that. No one has did that exercise this activity in past, and now I am going to start as a new. So similar to in filing a patent application, the invention has to be proven as a new, and for that a prior art search is being conducted by the experts. Then when it is found okay, it's new, it is non-obvious, and it's having an initial application, and it is not barred by the section 4 or section 5 of the Patent Act, where certain restrictions are there, then the patent application can be filed in the patent office. When it is filed, then its office examines it, and it goes under prosecution, and then they grant the application for your patent applications. So who can file the patent applications? Like a inventor as himself, anyone who has invented, they can file application. Then the assignee here, it means to whom the technology has been assigned. Those who are students and faculties here, just must remember, you have a condition with your current college or current employer, that whatever creativity you are making it, donating it here, you're using the resources and your service liability, you have to get it protected in their name. So here for all employed persons and all the students and all the faculties, your parent institution where you are working, that will be as a applicant, and the term is assignee. Term is assignee here. So always remember that part, because your service rule says that. And whoever working in company as a employee or in any part in or a startup or in any MSME, again there is a company is having the ownership into your IP creativity. And because the company is not having a brain, it's general understanding. So all the creativity comes from human mind only. So human mind, those who are involved into that research, they will be inventor always. So into that application, the application will be is to be filed by assignee, who is the company, and the inventors will remain the same. But in case there is no employer, there is no liability to the organization, then the inventor can be applicant also. So this a basic line difference is there. That's why I cleared it. And if the person is deceased, then the legal representative can file the application on behalf of the deceased applications. Where the application is to be filed, there are geographically it has been defined. For the southern part, it is Chennai. For the western part, it is Mumbai. For the northern and central part, it is Delhi. And for the eastern part, the Kolkata is the office. 4 patent offices are there. They are serving, catering to the neighboring states as per defined by the Patent Act. Sorry for disturbance. So when the patent application is being filed in patent application, depending on the nature, the office has defined it in different categories. So general case when we file a patent application, it is the ordinary application, and this can be filed with the provisional specifications or can be filed with the complete specifications. That is the opportunity for the researchers. Maybe the data is not ready with you. You can file with a minimum information to the patent office that yes, I am working into this. My date should be protected from today, and the patent office will report that, and they will acknowledge that yes, application has been received. But there is opportunity of 12 months timeline is there. Within the 12 months, the complete has to be filed into the patent office with all the details, all the claims, and all the descriptions into the for that application. If it is not filed, the application the patent office abandons the application. So timelines are there. So this opportunity is like that when we are traveling to some place and we reserve our seat into the bus or train, that yes, I have this, since the bus is not departing by about 30 minutes or about 40 minutes, and the first row and the first window seat you are protecting for yourself, kind of that activity it is. But the moment when you sit and you travel, that is the journey part completed. So your hanky or your goods doesn't travel. You have to travel for that. So similarly, you can get a priority for a date. Yes, simply detailed to the patent office, and date has been protected. And within 12 months, you have to submit the complete applications, and with a request for examination, the patent office will examine that application, and they will come. I will come to the detail part in the later stage. Then again, convention application, we say if you have the opportunity to market or sell your product or process to the other countries, you have to get it protected with those countries again. For that purpose, you have to file either by a Paris Convention route to those countries or by a PCT route to the WIPO. So these are the required. When business support is there, you can file for that application. You can utilize those opportunities. So these are the required documents as in general, a cover letter that I'm submitting a patent application to the patent office, then application form, that is form 1, where the details of the inventors, details of the applicants are there, and the title of invention is there, and their nationality basically. And about the details of the invention that is being submitted either in provisional or complete submission to the patent office, that is form 2. And if the provisional expense is filed, then completion has to be filed within 365 days. And with complete execution, the drawings and abstracts also needs to be submitted, and claims also to be submitted. Then when patent application is filed, another requirement is there, filing of form 3, and that is basically about the details whether for your invention you have filed any application in foreign countries or not. So those details. Again, the form 5 is required the inventors. Who are the inventors? Basically, where a group of 5 or group of 6 team members are working together for a project, and you are truly you have worked on that. So this form 5 is again required. So these two are required. And if you are filing from your own, then it is not required. But if you're filing availing a service of agent, then power of attorney is to be filed in Form 26. And obviously, the fees has to be paid to the patent office. For the individuals and for the startups and for the MSMEs, it is 1,600 rupees. But for the larger entities, it is 8,000 rupees fees for patent filing a patent application in India. These are the particular forms which is required, and this everyone can make note that key 1, 2 is when you are filing, that's very mandatory. 18 is also mandatory because without filing form 18, patent office will never examine the applications. And based depending on your nature identity, you have an opportunity to file form 18A also, where you can request for expedited examination to the patent office, and the patent office will examine your application very quickly, and they will grant the certificate for you, grant your patent application. And 26 is required. I said, if you are using attorney services, you have to submit 26 also. Again, Form 9 is an option that the patent office publishes the application after 18 months. But you are very much anxious that you have to launch the product, you have to claim the word that this is your product. So you can make a request to patent office that kindly publish my patent in 1 month. They will entertain you. There is a fees for that. You have to file and you get it patented. So this how the application looks. Basically, here the form 1, as I said, details of the invention, applicant details, and the inventor details is to be filled in here. And the form 2, I have made here 2 lines. One is for the provisional, one is for the complete. Depending on your application type, you have to mention either of these lines. So these are the timelines, how the patent application is processed at patent office. So if you're filing a patent application with provisional specifications, you have to file complete specification within 12 months. If it is not filed, the application will be deemed to be withdrawn. And when the completion is filed into the patent office, after the 18 months, it goes for the publication of application. And many people, they ask why 18 months, because the 12 months has been given to you for making it from provisional to complete. So the 12 months is there, and again there is an opportunity to withdraw your application within the 15 months. So that then the 3 months timeline the patent office takes to publish your applications. And after the publication, it goes for examination. And if you have made a request for examination in Form 18 or Form 18A, then the patent office examines the application. And when the FER is issued from the patent office, then you have to reply back to the patent office your response to FER, whatever objections the patent office has made, maybe technical or non-technical, both the things. As I said, it should be novel, it should be non-obvious, it should be of interest applications. And for the novelty, they quote certain available few patent citations and other non-patent literature also. So you have to defend for your application within 6 months. The timeline is there. Within 6 months, you have to respond for that. And once this is it is okay, then it may go for hearing, or it may go in order for grant, or may be rejected by the patent office. Case it can be. And if it is not filed within the 6 months, it will be deemed as your application has been returned. You are not required to continue further. So after the hearing, we have a time of 15 days. Whether into that you have to reply for the whatever the objections have been raised by the controller or examiner in your hearing process. So these are the timelines and how it looks application. One patent design certificate I have displayed here. After when we are getting your certificate, it will be like that. For the NIDC has declared. Now for the biodiversity, when you are filing the form 2, basically when complete specification is there, you are filing complete specifications. It is always should be with the details of the next origin of the material, where it has been from, where it has been sourced, and any biological material, if it is used there, then you have to mention the source and from where you have received it, and based on the ability. So So when some biological material is there, you have to define that key from where you have sourced, and the patent office says that you have to get a clearance from the National Biodiversity Authority. So to the National Biodiversity Authority, as per the Rule 18 of the Biological Diversity Rules, you have to make an application to the NBA in Form 3. Here you have to tell about who is the entity, it's about your organization from where you are working, then the type of the entity and its status, and with the address, then give it exactly the business is there, and the documents are to be submitted, and the details of the head, and again who are the attorneys to whom your services you are availing, and invention for which you are filed a patent application. Here the details has to be submitted. Later on, when after the examination, they go for hearing, and you have to submit a kind of documents in support of that. Just like here, I am displaying an application from the Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences. They have developed a formulation where they have biological resources. They have used the Sadabahar, the Cathanthus odius, and natural biology is a plant, and the leaf is being used for that formulation. Again, Momodica carencia is being used for the fruit. Then the Berberis aristata is used, or Gymnema sylvestre as a leaf into being used, or kind of a Caranja Sylvinia bondocella, the seed is being used. So these are the ingredients where they have received, like they have utilized for their patent application, and now they have to get it. The patent has to be protected based on these formulations. So for all those things, it is to be received the clearance from the NBA. And the purpose of the NBA is that these things what is being utilized with the patent application, and again which are going to be commercially used by the industry. So they have to, they are interested to ensure the availability of those materials in our country. In philosophically it is this. So that's why all the materials what has been mentioned here, they see that they know the data whether it is available or not available. So similarly, if it is there, the chlorophyte of tuberosum, it is mentioned here the Sweet Musli, and the root is being used. So the NDA is very much aware that chlorophyte tuberosum is being cultivated across the Maharashtra and other Gujarat regions where it is very much abundantly available, and it is a commercial product, and the availability data is there. So based on that, they clear the. Similarly, if there is any ingredient which is not available in India and it is in industries, the NBA clearance won't be issued for those products. And now after this application, when it is applied, application that they have to, you have to get a, as per the NBA's directive, you have to get a sign in and benefit sharing agreement with the so community there, like I am displaying here. It is hopefully it is visible. It is on a stamp paper. Its applicant is from the Maharashtra. So from the Maharashtra, they have received this. They have signed this agreement with NBA that yes, they have sourced these materials from there, and the application is like either this NBA application reference and also the patent application reference. Both things are to be mentioned. So this is the benefit sharing agreement being executed and submitted to the NBA. And once the NBA is satisfied with these requirements, then they give you a clearance, and then you get a patent granted from the patent office. So these are the requirements, as I said. So any questions for patenting your biodiversity, you may please ask.
Thank you very much for extensive coverage about the topic, sir. Some of the students I want to ask how to register plant varieties for patenting. Sir, can you please unmute your mic and continue, sir?
Sorry. Plant varieties are registered. The patent is not there. plant varieties are patented in US. The US jargon system, the definition says that it is patent protected as a patent in that system. But in India, there is a register there, and for that the registry too, you have to approach to Plant Protection and Authority, PPVPRA, we say, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmer Rights Authority, PPVPRA. That is under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And they have certain guidelines where the plant variety has been created, identified by a farmer or a breeder, some new thing where the yield is high, it is some kind of a pest resistant, and as general in all breeder, they know that being by selection we get a good attorney, a good variety, or by hybridization we get a good variety, and by hybridization we have to put in the cell lines in background, and by selection you have to maintain the cross pollination, all the things like into there. So in vegetative propagation also there are certain precautions where the leaders they do. So once it is achieved, some certain attributes are there, like we say very, very new, very novel variety it is, then it has to go for the qualifying for the Anders testing, that is novelty, that is new, as you are saying it is new. Then again, distinctness, how it is distinct from others, that has to be attributes has to be marked into your application. Then two criteria is there, that is uniformity and stability. If it is a selection by random, so may not be it give the same attribute in the next crop cycle. So that's why in each crop cycle, it should be uniform and it should be stable, that those novel and distinct attributes what you have mentioned for your applications. So the testing criteria centers are there. There you have to submit your plant variety, what you have developed, and when they are issuing a certificate, they will register your new variety. So these are the things. The authority is in here in Delhi and NAS complex, and the application is online, and the seats are to be shared, submitted to the dust testing center, and there they will examine and they will issue the certificate. Based on their certificate, your application will be entertained for the registering your authority. Many seed companies they are getting these certificates nowadays.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Yes, sir. And we are all aware about the traditional knowledge cannot be patented. But what about new combinations of herbal formulations?
New combinations of herbal formulations can be, like we are doing for CCRS, we are doing for the other agencies, where they have certain attributes which is not known in traditional knowledge, and that we are applying for that. And moreover, the process has been optimized there, not as a formulation, because we know as a traditional practice, most of the herbal health practitioners, they do very quick manufacturing and they molecular processing, and they demonstrate to the patient very instantly. Storage is very much required for industrial applications. So here our researchers, they are doing for those formulations, those who are known, but in a particular combination and some adding some added to increase the shelf life, to make it a product, to make it a sellable product, transportable product. So those attributes to that formulation are being protected. Like we sold Ayush 82 and Ayush 64 from the Ministry of Health, CCRS, Ministry of Ayush, Ministry of Ayush, CCRS. So Ayush 64 is basically a febrifuge formulation, which was recommended by Ayush Ministry during the COVID times, and 40 licenses they have took this technology from us. And the patent was filed in 1982, and it was granted. Now the term has expired, but the formulation is still in practice. Earlier, it was used for the malaria as a febrifuge. Now it is being used in reappropriated use in the COVID also. So again, the ingredients are known as a febrifuge, but the formulation has been optimized by the CCRS and protected by patent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And there is another query from student. What demarcates grassroots innovation and institution-based inventions? What is the criteria for differentiating these two?
From the grassroots and?
Yes, sir. one student want to know about what is the clear difference between grassroots innovation and institution-based invention.
In the grassroots innovation, it is always a grassroots innovation is the kind of, it is a instant solution to the local problem. Maybe there the background work, what others have done, that may not be addressed by the grassroots innovator. He only knows that it's problem here and a very local problem, and I have to give a solution. So very instantly a solution has been provided, and it's working. It's serving the purpose. But in academic research, it's ethically required because it's mentored, and others what have done, that has to be all explored, so that there are chances, in philosophically we can say there are chances in grassroots innovators a wheel can be reinvented, but in academic it is not allowed. It is said that you should be aware of that wheel has been invented very fast. So those things has to be taken care in both the things.
Thank you very much for all the explanations, and you have shown us real-time examples also, sir. The lecture was really extensive, and you have covered all the aspects of intellectual property. All the undergraduate students from various departments of our college have got benefited from your lecture. On behalf of Jamal Mohamed College, Department of Biotechnology Star College Scheme, DBT Star College Scheme, as well as on my own behalf, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you for sparing your valuable time amidst your busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We shall wind up the meeting now, and this meeting is held at blended mode. Some of the students are attending in person, and some of them are attending through live streaming inside our campus, as well as through Zoom. Thank you very much, everyone, for actively participating in this program. With this, we have come to the conclusion of first day of Interdepartmental Satellite Symposium on Interdisciplinary Studies in Biosciences. We are about to end the meeting now. Thank you very much. The mail ID of the speaker has been shared in the chat box. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Kannan sir, நம்ம மீட்டிங் எண்ட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.